Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jeff.
Dave's really excited this week.
I am really excited this week. I don't know why. Just because I'm really excited to be here with the rabble and my good friends, Jeff and Chris. I don't know which way to point.
It sounded like you forgot who we were. And our names are right here. Oh, you can't watch Twitch right now, so you don't remember as easy.
I'm an old man.
I see.
Any minute now, I'm going to be replaced.
I didn't know that was an option. But anyway, regardless, this week we're talking about 2012 or 14 or 13. Maybe one of these. A little movie called Horns starring Hermione's boyfriend himself, Ronald Ratcliffe.
How many of the Harry Potters
Harry
did you not
Connick
watch?
Jr. I've never seen one.
How many of the Harry Potters did you not watch?
I have an audiobook of the first one.
Harry Potter is not Hermione's boyfriend. That would be Ron Weasley.
Who's that?
Harry Potter hooks up with Ron, his best friend. Harry Potter hooks up with Ron Weasley's sister. So how's that for a best friend?
These movies already don't make sense. Anyways, that's what we're talking about.
Am I Harry Potter? Are you Ron Weasley?
No.
That makes Fonda Hermione. So good on you, Fonda. Good on you, Fonda.
I'm so lost right now, Dave. I couldn't even begin to... I'm so lost. I'm just like barely off the side of the road, but like just barely off to where it's like one of those things where it's like she was just 30 steps from being saved and then they never found her. That's where I am.
Don't give up. Don't give up. You have to have the eye of the tiger. So.
I'm nearsighted. I don't think tigers are that.
Usually not.
Our old buddy Tim is in the chat. He says it's 2 weeks in a row he's seen the movie.
Nice.
You're doing better than me. I've not watched the last two. I'm kidding. But I do
Jeff,
have
keep
something.
An eye on this one.
I do have something to say about horns before we get too into this. I'll just say it up top. And that kind of is what I mean, not really, but kind of. I was looking for animals with horns because I thought we were doing like an IRL episode at first. And so there's that one. And then there's this one that has horns. I don't know what that is. There's this one. And then there's that guy. And then also this one. And hold on, wait for it. And that guy. And it kind of worked itself out. So I was like, when did Harry Potter get horns? And then I watched the movie just because I was interested. And then it just turns out that...
By happenstance.
Yeah.
No unicorns, Chris? No unicorns?
I should have got a unicorn and I should have got a metal dude. But, yeah. I especially love that first picture of the wailing, whatever that is. Deer, maybe? But, yeah. We'll get back to some pictures. It's the truth, Tim.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I only tell the truth. I never lie. That's 100% the truth. True story.
Don't be spouting your alternative facts, Tim. Happens.
But
I don't know if his name is really Tim Happens, guys. His name might be Ty Happens. So I'm going to call him Ty from now on.
Ben, how do you feel about this?
Take that.
I don't think he'll agree. He may ignore you. I think he's already ignoring you. All right, let's get to some news. I was waiting for somebody to agree with me.
I was dancing. I was ready for the news.
What are we doing?
I'm keeping an eye on you. As we move into the newsroom, I'm keeping an eye on things.
Oh.
Been some
Keen eye.
shenanigans afoot.
Keen eye for the news. Jeff, what's the scoops this week?
Huh?
Still no scoops?
Nope, no scoops.
Slow
Damn.
news week. Slow news week.
Does typically be how it be. Dave, why don't you start us off? Because you should start us off.
I will do that. So there is a trailer out that I watched that I was really intrigued. It's the Jekyll trailer. As Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moves into the public domain, we have a Jekyll trailer, and it was very intriguing. I thought looked like it might be ultra violent. It's a little bit different. Looks like it's like trying to freshen up the old story. So I think we should all watch it. I think you should watch it. Watch it, all of you. Not all of we, all of you. Rabble, go out and watch the trailer, and let us know what you think. Hit us up on the socials if I can get the socials to appear.
I don't have them on this screen.
Oh, shit, son of a bitch. Okay, that's okay.
Stand by for
attention,
socials.
Take notes. I assume the rabble are taking notes. So there we go.
Okay, this will probably play the news music twice. So. This is Dave's fault.
All right. So
I've got one piece of news. If you want to feel old as shit, I've got news for you.
Do.
Shaun of the Dead gonna have a return to the theaters for its 20th anniversary. 20 years old this movie is. I feel like I was about 30 years old when I went looking for it at Blockbuster, but that can't be right. Starting August 29th at AMC Theaters. This is an ad. Use code HorrorHouse when you get tickets.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just a liar today. I'm a lying liar today. Now the news is real. I'm saying that. Anyways, continuing on. How do we feel about Shaun of the Dead being 20 years old?
You are correct, sir. I feel old as fuck.
I don't care for it.
But I will give it this. I'll give it a thumbs up for coming back to the theaters. We're seeing this a lot.
Yeah.
Like movies coming back and getting a re-release, and I think it's great. There are a lot of times like I don't get a chance to watch things in the theater that I want to watch, and so I did not watch Shaun of the Dead in the theater. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out.
I've never watched one of these like movies that have been brought back to play. I've never watched one. I've wanted to.
I have not either yet.
But I've not done it.
Yep.
Jeff, have you watched one before?
No.
Well, you're gonna have to let us know if it's fun.
Star Wars. When they came out with Episode 1, they released all the.
Oh yeah. Well, if in that case, yeah. I too. I didn't get to see all of them. I think I only went to see the first one. And I tried to talk my mom into watching the other two, and she was like, "Nope, we watched the first one. You can wait." I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
I did not watch the re-release of the original trilogy. I watched Episode 1, 2, 3 when they came out.
Yeah.
I went kind of crazy when Yoda come out with the lightsaber and started doing flips. I was like, "Yeah, oh Yoda." And then the political one of intrigue of part 2, I was like, "Yeah, go politicians, go political intrigue, woo!"
Don't get me started on
Make the Republic great again hat.
Dave, news.
News. I have 3 bits. I'm going to put them all together. It's a slow news day. It's Halloween Horror Nights news. It's happening. We're getting closer. We are a little more than a month away before the opening. Of course, Stella and I will be attending the night before the opening, the exclusive premium screen night. We have 2 more scare zones this week announced. One is Duality of Fear, which the poster showed like faces facing away from each other, but they were mirror imaged, but then they were like distorted versions of each other. So I don't know. I imagine a lot of twin stuff. The other one was Demon Queens. So I talked about, I thought the new next house announcement would be a Girl Power house, Classic Monsters house. So we have a scare zone called Demon Queens. So that could be a Girl Power demon scare zone. And then today, the final house of the year was announced. It is the Classic Monsters house. It is called Universal Classic Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. I did not read the description because I fucking have to work for a living. Goddamn son of a bitch, motherfucker. Gosh. But the poster for it featured the Bride of Frankenstein, and she had like a bandolier and a blade in her hand, and she looked badass. And then it had over the top of her and was the Bride of Dracula with her teeth out and her claws out, and then opposite her, also under the Dracula, the Vampire Queen was a female descendant of Van Helsing with this big ass fucking crossbow. And you know, I say that the Classic Monsters house is one of the best houses each year, and I think this will be really cool. I'm going to go ahead and put my prediction in that I think there will also be at least an appearance, if not full-blown feature. I think they're just hiding it away, of the new descendant of the original Dr. Frankenstein, which is also a female mad scientist now, because that's what they're doing in Epic Universe. It's like a later generation of those classic monsters. So, you know, Bride and Frank can live because they can live maybe forever. Dracula can live forever, but the Frankenstein, the Dr. Frankenstein granddaughter, it's going to be a little more modern take, and that gives them a little more freedom to jazz it up. Plus, as these copyrights and trademarks expire and things go into the public domain, this is how you protect what's going on now: is you quit early. You quit using old Dr. Frankenstein. You got a new Dr. Frankenstein. Then people can have that old shit. We got a new thing, and we got 75 years to squeeze every little dime out of it we can. I'm sorry, that's the way of the corporate world. And but I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed. I'm super.
You're Dave.
So yeah, I'm Dave. I'm Jazz Dave. Jazzy.
Jazz Antlers. I got one other piece of news, but I read it on Reddit a few days ago, so I forget who fucking said it because I didn't look it back up. I just remembered it before we went live. But
you
there
read
was
it on Reddit, but don't know who said it. I see what you did there.
I'm a rap god, a humble
When
rap
is your
god.
Rap God album dropping?
It already did. Martin Shkreli bought it. Remember that guy?
Farmer Bro.
But Toxic Avenger remake news, because we saw a trailer for it forever ago and it has still never come out. Nobody's even bought the rights to put it out. And apparently, I don't know if it's a producer or somebody, maybe even an actor, was saying that some of these places are deeming it unreleasable. Because it's just, think of what you like about Trauma, and then that's why it's unreleasable. And so
Do
I
they
don't know.
not know? Do they not understand what horror fans are all about? Like, one, you have the pure nostalgia, but not just for Toxic Avenger, for that kind of gonzo filmmaking. Like, give us that crazy, weird shit and tons of practical effects, and we will eat that shit up. We will eat that shit. Horror fans are loyal. I
Laurel.
failed that. I'm not a rap god. Horror fans are
That
loyal.
takes a
fans.
special kind. Rivalry 1. Our rap rivalry just ended.
Yeah, it didn't end. It's still on. You're about to get blapped.
I can't get blapped because of my fat back, and I roll out the bullets with my black, and now we're done with the news. We may not be done with the news. Well, I had to quit rapping. Anyways.
Yeah, I had a good one, and the rabble. Sorry, you don't get to hear my good rap diss track because we went to the news. I don't get to share it now.
It's closed for the week.
It's going to drop. Secret. It's going to drop on a secret website. It's produced by Kendrick Lamar. Not really. Produced by his third cousin, James B. Lamar.
Kenny Lemure.
He's an accountant from.
Some French guy you met.
Being produced by my Canadian girlfriend.
Great producer.
Her name's Canadian girlfriend.
She can spell producer. But anyways, it's time. Unless you guys have something else you want to bring up before we get into the movie. Going once, going twice.
Into the meat.
Here's your one spoiler warning. You get one. And that was it. And now we're done. Horns. Released in 2022, maybe 2024. Nobody knows. It's anybody's guess.
This century.
2013 is where the smart money is. Which I have none of. I'm fresh out of smart money. So this was another one that I think it was Firestarter. I also got the year wrong on that. It's a bad year for me and years for movies. I was gonna say
the
old
better
movies,
you
but
get
they're
at
so old.
rapping, the worse you get at knowing what year it is and what year things
Amen.
happen.
You're right. But Jeff, you picked this one. Give us the quick plot summary, the quick rundown of what Horns is.
So it's about Ignatius Parrish. The movie takes place like a couple months after his girlfriend was murdered, and people think that he did it. And so he gets drunk one night, destroys the little memorial thing that people set up for her, and the next day he wakes up with horns. So yeah, it's about him trying to figure out why he has horns and how to use his new power.
And some pretty good effects here and there. Horns are really pretty good. Pretty good horns.
So he has horns and powers. Question for the experts. Would you consider him a mutant?
No.
No. Not Nightbreed either. Well, maybe. I mean, we could consider making him a Nightbreed. I could wrap my mind around Nightbreed, maybe.
I consider more like Hellboy.
Hell cousin.
We'll have to circle
Yeah,
back
Hell
on
cousin.
More like Hell cousin.
There's a whole Hell family. Hell mom and dad.
Yeah, I don't see him as a Nightbreed, but he could be in one of the other tribes And if you're interested in that, follow my non-existent blog about my Nightbreed TV series that's never going to see the light of day.
Well, speaking of that, since we're already into horns, let's sidetrack real quick. Tim has sent me the first episode. He guest directed the first episode of my Blob Mega series, and so I'll have to talk to him. Maybe next week we'll show that. Now remember the format for the Blob Mega series, and that's all I'll say until we show it next week.
Okay. Good on you, Ty, for helping out.
I'm gonna ban the word time in chat. It bans every other kind of word. I mean, it's like what Tim got banned twice, or had used 2 banned words last week, and it was like just regular ass words.
Yeah, they were the most innocuous things.
Nightbot drunk as shit. But we've talked about the director of this movie a few good times.
A few times. We did one of his other movies.
Alexandre Aya. That's Hiya. Kung Fu. You don't know Kung Fu.
Directed The Hills Have Eyes, 2006. Crawl from a few years ago with the alligators that I said was one of the best alligator movies I've seen. High Tension. Run 3D and P2. Do you remember P2 where the girl is trapped in the parking garage? That was a lot better than it had any business being, considering the simple premise.
Now, I have seen the movie called P, but it was a... Anyways.
Thank you, interns, for that well-timed entrance. Alexandra, take on me. He also is credited for writing the screenplay, and I don't know, we said this during Hills Have Eyes. I have dementia. He wrote the screenplay for Mirrors, 2008, starring Kiefer Sutherland, and that's a pretty decent horror movie too. I think now that I say that on the show, I think I do remember talking about some of the kills on there that were really good.
So. Oh yeah, we've talked about the I've talked about the Amy Smart kill probably a couple times because it's so.
Yeah, that is really good. Really good.
We're gonna have to watch Alligator, so you can, if you've never seen Alligator from like 1980, because that may be my favorite alligator movie. Maybe we'll have an Alligator Week, sometime.
Yeah.
Or Animal Attack Week.
On their Shark Week. Yeah, when is Shark Week? We need to do that. Coincide.
It just passed.
Yeah, it just passed.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Jeff picked this in part, at least, because of the writer, Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, who we've talked about a lot lately. Black Phone and other things. Black Phone is.
I haven't watched Black Phone.
Really good. It's really good. I really liked Black Phone. So,
I'm racking my brain right now trying to figure out a joking joke because I feel like I've used all the ones I could possibly use before, and I just don't have any left. I have the premise, but it just yeah. Was this based on a book that he wrote, or did he just write the?
Yes.
Okay, have you read it?
Yeah. Yes, I listened to the audiobook.
How does it compare to the movie?
It has some of the same elements in it, but it's a little bit different.
Which would you? Is there one you recommend more than the other?
I mean, the book is definitely better than the movie is, because there's a lot of the book is so much darker than the movie. The movie's a little bit more lighthearted, I feel like, and they don't go into the depth of what he can do. So, like in the book, he can't make people do stuff that they wouldn't normally do.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
a couple times in the movie, I'm not for sure if like the news people beating each other up is that
Yeah.
something they would want to do or not, or like making his brother take drugs if that's against their will, because he can't do anything like that. He can only make them do what they already want to do. And
So it's
so
like their inner heart,
yeah,
that things they want to do, but they're restraining themselves. Then he can.
yeah. So like he's at the beginning he's talking to his well, in the movie he's just slept with this girl, but in the book he
Linda.
was like he's been with her for like 3 months. And
Oh.
his girlfriend was murdered like a year ago in the book, but like in the movie I think it was like what, 3 months or something like that.
Yeah,
a couple months later.
it felt pretty recent.
Yeah.
Oh, that would change. I'm kind of intrigued now.
So
More. Did it still have the same ending? Was the ending?
no, not really.
How did that go about the ending in the book?
Oh, the police officer in the movie, Eric, he was actually working with Lee, and they basically made him one of the cops. Like he makes two of the cops, want to have sex with each other. So in the book, it was two other cops, and then Eric was completely separate from them. But in the movie, they just took out one of the cops, made Eric one of the cops, and then made them a couple.
Kind of cut down the cast a little bit.
Yeah. So like it's supposed to end at the foundry, and his brother shows up. In the movie, he makes him take drugs, and he ends up in the hospital. In the book, he doesn't do that. He just makes him he just tells Egg everything that happened, and then he keeps trying to make his brother go back. He lives in LA, and he's got kind of like a Tonight Show kind of a thing where he plays the trumpet, but then he also sits down and he interviews guests. So that's what the book was. So he was trying to make him go back to LA and everything, and his brother kept coming back to him at the foundry because he was setting up a plot to kill Lee.
Could you imagine if Max Weinberg had inherited the Tonight Show after Conan left, and so he played the drums and then walked over and introduced and interviewed guests?
That'd be cool.
He would probably be like, so you've got an Oscar-nominated movie out, and the world's wants to know, what do you think about my drum playing?
Do you like Bruce Springsteen?
Do you think Bruce made a mistake when he fired me?
My son's in Slipknot. Oh, he's not anymore though.
Yeah, You want to hear me play a little bit on the desk here? I can play Wipeout. All right.
So, one of the things I didn't like about the movie was, I don't know if I blame the director for this or the cinematographer. It's the story. It's not the story. It's the cinematography. It's how the shots are all done. It's very plain. I don't feel they put a lot of creativity into the shots, because at the end we start to get a little bit more CGI with the last, when Lee is getting the snake entering him. That's when the CGI is really apparent, and I'm like, they could have put so much less money into that and just had just show Harry Potter, what's his name, Iggy, and then do the depth of field thing, right? And show that in the background, the snake going in, and you can only make out part of it. Like, you don't get the full details, and then you don't got to do all the lighting and the textures and stuff, and you still get the effect of like the snake is going inside him, and you're not all up on it, and you get a cool shot. But there was more stuff like that just kind of, I'm like, we should have got some different shots. And I will say, I mean, we've talked about the director before and liked his stuff, but I looked up the cinematographer, who's got a laundry list of things. Not one thing stood out to me. So, just saying.
Yep.
Pretty much just horns.
No.
So, thank God he got this job. The story carried his work for him. How do you guys feel with that?
And I agree. There weren't a whole lot of like tracking shots. You had, I'd say the coolest shots I thought were when Iggy shopping carts into the water and he's under the water and the logs are closing above him and some of that. That was some pretty cool shots.
Yeah.
Because that kind of claustrophobia gets me anyway. Like, oh my gosh, this drowning shit, this can't breathe shit really gets me anyway. So it doesn't take much there, I would say, as well, to get me. But I thought that was the coolest shots.
Yeah.
You could have had an over-the-shoulder tracking shot as he comes down the ramp and into the water. There's so much you could have done with that, even to do more. But we didn't get that. We didn't get tracking shots. We didn't get big sweeps and pans. So I fully agree. It's competent.
I mean, it's fine. It's not
special.
bad. It's
Yeah.
clearly watchable, but not like they were
it's
shooting
competent,
stuff
but
and he's like, "See my horns?" And like only one of them's in the shot. It's nothing like that, but. So brother, take these drugs, and then, you know, I could do this joke forever. I'll do it all night now. It's in my brain.
I will say now, I did think when he talks his brother into like all those drugs on that table, take them all. I thought that was pretty cool shit. And his brother falls on the ground and he's getting swallowed up by the moss on the ground and all that. That was pretty dark, like making your brother OD, and then the visual of that. I thought that was pretty damn cool. But I also thought, I know part of this is, of the theme of this movie is Ig coming to terms with his anger and the violence he wants to retribute upon the world because of what happened to his girlfriend, and coming to terms with that and using that in the right place. So I felt like that was very well-placed. Anger was much a theme of this, and so that felt dark, and it almost made me not want to root for Ig anymore, because I mean, yeah, your brother's a little bit of a douche, but he's a musician. He's probably a little bit of a douche to start with. Not all musicians. Hashtag not all musicians, Chris. Not all musicians. But he's a little bit of a douche, but he didn't. I mean, he could have been worse than he was. He wasn't. He really was not a bad guy at the end. He was a human. So he could have instead influenced him to, you're going to flush that stuff, and every time you think about drinking or doing drugs again, you're going to be violently ill, and take away that, and you still get this kind of tortured moment. You're going to want drugs, but you're not going to be able to take them. Give him something like that, and then you still are torturing your brother to an extent, but you didn't put him in the fucking hospital.
It was just an overdose.
Yeah, but we lose the shot, and I think the shot is amazing. I watched this when it first came out. Like, we watched this back in the day, and had never watched it again. Kind of forgot
Right.
about it. But we watched it this week, and um, it had some things going for it. I forgot about all the snakes completely. Like that wasn't a thing in my memory at all. And then you start seeing the hints of the snakes and the snake in the fucking stream, and then they become more and more prominent. And
Yeah.
so
Snakes play a
will
much
say,
bigger role in the book.
I would hope so. I felt like they needed more to do in the movie, and I think I'm just gonna have to read the book. That seems like the way to go.
Yeah.
That said, sometimes when it's a movie adaptation of a book, I'll watch the movie first
Yeah.
and then read the book, and then I don't have to work as hard because I already know what the fucking people look like, which is great.
Unless they're
Makes-
composite
that's
of two different people, then you're like, well, that wasn't that person.
Yeah.
then you have
But-
to do some recasting. You always
Yeah.
take the second character and be like, I'm going to imagine Steve Buscemi in this role.
But that's the trick right there. That's all you gotta
That's
do.
my secret. I imagine everybody as Steve Buscemi.
You need a Buscemi filter for OBS. So,
What did you think about the romance and the relationship?
gay.
Good. Between Marin and Ig.
Oh,
Well,
it was a lot for me. I'm like,
Jeff? Because I got a follow-up question to this, so your thoughts, Jeff?
I mean, in the book, there's a whole lot more. So, I mean, for what the
It felt
movie
a little
shows
unearned.
you.
Yeah, it felt a little unearned. The first time they haven't even met yet, and she's flashing Morse code at him like, "We're going to be together forever. You're mine." That's kind of red flaggy.
she
but
probably hypnotized him.
she
She's a
she
wizard.
put the devil in him. She put the devil in him. You're a wizard, Marin. So follow-up question: did you guys get, especially from the relationship, did you guys get odd Thomas feels about this movie or about this relationship?
I didn't think that quite much, but I was thinking towards the end of the movie, I'm like, this would pair great as a double feature with Odd Thomas. But you're right. It is like that. And what's funny is, I was watching it on Prime, and the movie goes off. It's like running the credits, so it brings up the next movie it wants you to watch, and it was Odd Thomas. Everything's coming up Odd Thomas right now. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree.
That's what happened to me. I watched it on Tubi.
Did Odd Thomas get recommended?
It did. It came up right
see?
after it.
Damn. Nothing.
I'm like,
There's no.
what the hell is this movie?
There is no original thought anymore. It's all been thought of for you. This is bullshit. It's like, that's a great. I'm gonna have something great to talk about, and then it recommends it, and then Dave already's got it, then you already got it, and let's just end the show.
Yep.
Let's just turn this off.
It's the formula. Boy with mutant powers dates beautiful girl above his pay grade who dies. He uses powers to, do things. Now, the death happens at different times. He's got Odd Thomas. He's got plot before the death, and Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, has plot after the death. But otherwise, we're looking at the same movie.
And they both, Anton Yelchin and Daniel Radcliffe, both should have been in the MCU as Spider-Man and Daredevil, respectively. Anton Yelchin, I will stand by it, should have been Spider-Man. He'd been great Spider-Man.
I would have been totally in on that. I would have been totally in on that. But let's talk about this for just a minute, because I want to go somewhere. What does anybody remember? I'm drawing a blank here. What did Daniel Radcliffe wear throughout most of this movie, clothing-wise?
Snakes.
Could it have been a mustard yellow hoodie with a brown bomber jacket?
Let's go to the footage.
He was wearing Wolverine clothes the whole time. It was
You're
planned. The Illuminati planned this. They put the subliminal Daniel Radcliffe's going to be Wolverine back in 2013.
And Wolverine's mask,
Actually,
the horns. Joe King is on it too. Joe Hill. I won't use his government name like that.
So
I think you're right.
As soon as it came on, I had forgot that. And as soon as it came on, I was like, he's wearing basically a Wolverine cosplay right now. It's like the Big Lots Wolverine cosplay. So,
Connect the snakes to that. Connect the snakes to that. What do you got for the snakes? Connect that to Wolverine somehow. And go.
This is the storyline where what if Wolverine gets possessed by the Dark Phoenix spirit?
But what about snakes?
I don't know what that has to do with it. Just live with it. Live with it.
Okay, I accept that. Great explanation. You did it. Nailed it. Jeff, how do you feel about...
You put me on the spot, goddammit.
That. You did great. You did great. Jeff, how did he do? He did pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, see?
Nailed it.
2 votes of confidence.
Thank you, guys. I'm out.
He's a wizard.
Internet crashes.
Look, I'm gonna feel like a wizard.
You drank too fast. Your Wi-Fi's getting slow.
Thank you, gentlemen. This one's for you.
Before we started, Dave said, I can't go hard tonight. I don't know how many this is. How many is that?
We
don't count here.
One,
numbers aren't real in the horror house.
Two or three shots and one Dr. Pepper and bourbon.
Terrence Howard says 2 horror houses plus 1 equals Whorehouse 2024, but that can't be real because you can't divide 0 by 0. Some such. What did I say? Terry Howard? Terrence Howard. Did I call him by a weird
Terrence
name?
Howard.
In my head, I was thinking Terry.
You call him. I think you should call him Terry Howard. I saw that shit on Joe Rogan where he's doing the math. That just don't math.
But that's been like 20 years now that he's been doing this crazy thing. He's so crazy. He's so crazy.
Yeah. Is it any wonder they removed him from the MCU?
I still kind of wish he'd have been the Rhodes though, because he's kind of who I envision in my brain when I think of.
But I really like Don Cheadle.
Yeah,
I like Don Cheadle back when he was first coming on scene, and he did a series of commercials for the NFL. And there was one with Jerry Rice is famous for making the catch. They call it the catch in the back of the end zone for the 49ers. And so he was out there in the end zone with a ladder, and he's like has to climb up the ladder to hold the football at the height at which Jerry Rice had to jump up to catch the ball for the catch for the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. And
why'd you say it like that? The ball and
the ball.
Sorry.
Catch,
you sidetracked me. Continue.
Don't mess with me. I'll quit the podcast and go down to the Walmart.
To get better, the internet.
And get the better. Yeah. Right now, I'm not even working on the Big Lots internet right now. I'm working on the falling prices internet right now, and it's Tuesday. That's a good. Got him. You have to trust me. That's a good one.
Boom.
Anyone
Roasted.
shop at falling prices? Jeff,
I don't know what that is.
Have you ever shopped at falling prices that's up near you? The store is just shit that no one would buy on the internet. And people buy some shit on the internet.
Yeah.
So the first day of the week, I think it's Wednesday for them, they just get a truckload of shit that no one bought on the internet, and it's $6. Anything you get is $6. And then on Thursday, it's $5. And then on Friday, it's $4. but they're starting to sell out because each day they don't get more shit. So I've been to the
I'm
store on
confused. I'm
like
thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
every day. The price of whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. I've been, and it's clothes and coloring books and half of a camera because they don't sell a whole fucking shit. It's
Half
just
of a
shit that
camera?
nobody bought. It's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But every day the price of everything drops, but they don't get new shit in. So if you don't go on the expensive days, you may not get it because they'll sell out.
Oh, I see what
And
you
then
mean.
next week they get new shit in, and
I
everything's
see.
$6 again. It is.
I was stuck on the they don't get more shit, and I'm like, how do they stay open if they don't have
They just
anything?
get new. They get
trying to
new shit each week.
Figure out
It's
what
like-
this place was. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, it used to be like Bulldog Liquidators,
Yep.
and then
I
they
expected to
changed
see.
the name or went out.
Famously, there's a reason why, for those who aren't familiar, like when they have big sporting events, the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go back to the Super Bowl because everything's
Super Bowl.
relative. The Super Bowl. The Bowl. There are
That's funny
a
to me, damn it.
million Super Bowl champion shirts made every year. And they'll have a million made with this team and a million made with this team. That way, no matter who wins, they got the shirts ready to go the very next day in the stores. And all those losing teams, I'm very certain, I know, this is not a conspiracy, this is a fact. They get shipped to Africa. They get shipped to Africa, all the losing team shirts.
I've seen
And
those
I'm sure
photos.
some of them make their way back to falling prices.
Even the little African kids are like, no, that ain't it, bro.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard of this store.
Yeah.
And I'll never go
How
into
about,
it. But I'm intrigued by it.
I'm very interested, Jeff. The whole Lee losing his fucking diddle fingers with the firework. And then you can see like the prosthetic just looks like a couple straps on the back of his hand.
Yeah.
There ain't much to it. Does that play a bigger thing in the book than it does here? Because it's like, here it is, and then throw it away and move on.
Oh, so that didn't happen in the book. So in the book, they're not all friends, and they're not all like blowing shit up together. Like Eric and his brother have the cherry bombs, and they're blowing up stuff every so often around town. And then whenever Ig sees him try to like stuff like a turkey inside of his backpack, that's when Ig actually first goes and sees his brother blow up shit with his friends. And then that's when they meet Lee. You know, they've seen him around, but he's not part of their group or anything like that. So it pretty much happens almost the same way. Like he has to trade the cherry bomb for the necklace, and then they're at a party or something, and they find out that Lee went to this junkyard, stuck the cherry bomb inside of a car, and exploded, and a piece of glass hit him in the face, so he like lost an eye.
Is that how Potter got his scar?
I love that.
So he has a damaged eye. So there's a part in the book where whenever he's wearing the necklace, he doesn't see that, you know, Ignatius has the horns and
that's
stuff.
in the movie. Yeah.
He can see out of his damaged eye a little bit, like he can see like the horns, but he doesn't really know what it is because his eye's bad, but he knows something's different about him. So, and then we know he puts the necklace on, when Ignatius puts the necklace on, he doesn't transform back to human. Everyone sees him normally without horns, but the horns are still there. He knows they're still there. He still feels them. So, like, in the movie, it's like, oh, I've been transformed back. Like, no. It's like a cloaking.
View.
Yeah.
Okay. it felt like in the movie. I feel like having them friends sounds better. I've not read the book. I don't know how that was written, but it sounds
Yeah,
like in the movie. I like the idea that they're friends. That makes Lee's betrayal worse.
oh yeah,
But then
definitely.
the cherry bomb thing feels like, oh, we got to keep this in, but let's make it a way we can throw it away real quick then,
Yeah.
because it never really comes back. It's not a Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's shoelace, and it never comes back.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's the thing about the whole hand blowing up. They don't really go back into it. Whereas in the book, when it hits him in the eye, yeah, they bring it up occasionally. That he's got that bad eye and everything, and they become friends in the book. They weren't friends at the beginning or anything, and Lee didn't save Ignatius at all when he hits the water, because they're out at a lake on a sandbar and stuff like that, and there's like these pipes that are running down the road, and that's how he keeps the shopping cart from veering off. But no one else knows those pipes were there, I guess, and so it didn't happen with the logs. So like he flies down the road, flies into the water, and crashes, just like how that happened. But when Lee's there, he sees a snake and he like kicks at the snake. And he didn't pull him out of the water. He didn't even try to pat him on the back to get anything out. You find this at the very end, like, I didn't save you at all. I didn't even touch you. I just saw a snake in the water. I don't like snakes.
Kind of fair.
So-
Kind of fair.
He was young.
So,
You sound
but,
like you're in a cave now, Dave.
So you're telling me
Okay, you're
it
back.
is a mutant power, and they were just latent when he was young. They hadn't developed yet.
Probably. I mean, now thinking about it, yeah, it really does seem like he's kind of had this ability, but just didn't have it at the time. So, but him and Lee become friends because he thought Lee saved him in the water, and so like he's going around like trying to sell magazines, and you find out later on that Lee was actually stealing stuff from places. It kind of took advantage of Ig and his charity, but they become friends after that. Especially after he blows up the car, he gets the glass shard in his eye, and he's obsessed with Ig's girlfriend. Because he thinks like, oh, if it was me that gave her the necklace back, she would want me instead of him. So yeah,
Let's see. The green-eyed monster rears its head.
yeah. So like yeah, Lee is so much darker in the book. He is so much eviler in the book.
Oh, whoa! Don't bring Grace into this.
What?
But it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Jeff said Lee is much darker in the book. I made a race joke. But it's
I
still a
thought
joke.
you was making a Bible joke. You said race. I thought
No,
you
we-
said grace.
Yeah, I did
Oh.
too.
Bible jokes are okay.
Don't bring
Uh,
grace into this.
it's-
I'm like, I missed this religion joke.
Ig's name. Let's start. Ig's name. Ignatius, which is that's the most Pope first name you can have is Ignatius. Book it. No cap. And his last name Parrish. It kind of just on homophones sound like words. You have two meanings here. You have parish as in death, but you also have parish as in church. A church is a parish. And I feel like Ig is really riding that line between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like to me, if there's any saving grace to this relationship, and not the way it was written, but the fact that it exists at all, is Marin represents his heart and his love and heaven, and this is the duality of heaven and hell and angels and devils, and I don't quite smart enough to get where I think I'm going with this, but
This is
I
a
felt
Christian
like there
movie.
was a real duality in this, and there was a real double meaning to the name.
This is a
So-
vehicle for Stryper, and they should have had Stryper songs, is what I'm hearing you say.
It should have been full wall-to-wall Stryper songs.
Credits roll.
Played so loud. The Stryper soundtrack should have been so loud you couldn't hear the dialogue.
Or, hear me out. They die. Well, I mean, he dies. You get the, they're together now. Credits rolling. Play a Stryper song there. Save it for the end. Then credits. As it scrolls up. I don't know any Stryper songs. I think To Hell with the Devil is the name of one of them. So, I mean, in the meantime, but you could think of like Wasp is what I would substitute Stryper out for. Like Fuck Like a Beast, you'd have that playing as the credits went up, and that's fine. That's fine. Or just do Wasp. I changed my mind. That works better. Sorry, I went off. Started talking about 80s shit.
It's crazy that you bring up Wasp. I just listened to this story about Wasp. At their kind of zenith of their popularity, they were really known for like the pyro in their shows and all that shit. And I can't remember the lead singer of Wasp's name.
Blackie
But
Lawless.
he had spent a lot of money. He spent a lot of money to get this bejeweled codpiece built. And then it had a device in it that was shot flames and sparks out of the codpiece on command. And so they tested it. It worked great in testing. And then they flew to the first concert. They were going to allow this to debut this in concert. Unbeknownst to him, it got damaged in flight. And so at the peak of the right moment, when he went to turn it on and hit the button to emit the shower of sparks and flames from his codpiece, it instead exploded and threw him up and back. And they had to stop the concert to take him to the back to make sure he was okay. He was okay, but it scared the bandmates, and they all come back there, and he allegedly told everybody, if you motherfuckers would write good songs, I wouldn't have to do this shit. Which is that's great to me. That is great to me.
We'll circle back around on this after we rate the movie. I got a picture of it.
Okay.
But any other
I want
things
to
you
talk
want to go over?
a little bit more cast. If that's okay, if I'm not stepping on any toes, I want to talk a little bit more cast.
I just want to rate it. Oh shit! I was hoping the two-person was me and Jeff. It wasn't set up that way. Never mind. Go on.
Busted. Real quick, just one thing I want to say. Max Megalith Lee. He was a detective in Spiral, and he's also a little bit of a conniver in Spiral. So maybe he's just a conniver in real life.
I thought he looked familiar. That's probably where I knew him from.
I think so. He's got a pretty extensive, like, he's been acting for a long time, since he was a child, basically, and he's not quite big enough character actor to be one of that guy, but he's kind of on the verge. Kelly Guerin, who played Glenna, who is the drunk that he slept with, and the other friend that they slut shame a little bit and stuff like that. And let me just say, not to be political here, but slut shaming is not okay, guys. As Faison Love once said, I love hoes, I just don't pay them.
Donald Faison said that?
She is, yes. She is also in last year's VHS 1985. So we just had some VHS, and maybe we'll get around to seeing her again in VHS 85. And then the real.
I thought you meant VH1, and I didn't understand what you were talking about. I'm like, she was on a VH1 show. Cool. God damn.
Okay. How much have you had to drink?
2.5 beers.
Oh,
Continue.
okay. The real, and Daniel Radcliffe, clearly Daniel Radcliffe is the star of the show here. But I want to talk about James Remar. And I think this is our first chance we've had the chance to talk to him about James Remar. Because James Remar is, that guy. He is that guy. He's a great character actor. He was in the original 1979 Warriors, the Warriors, as Ajax. So he's been acting since 1978. He's got a lot of shit. So an episode of The Equalizer, he couldn't have been, early 20s. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Tales from the Crypt TV series. He has one episode.
He passes my test already.
Oh yeah, no, he's in a lot of shit. Judge Dredd 1995. He's uncredited as he's a Black Warlock, but he is, or Warlord, but he is uncredited. He is Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, dude.
Who did he play in this?
Ig's dad.
Holy shit! You're right. I knew he was familiar too. Yeah. That's that guy.
That guy.
Oh my god! It's like you turned this movie on its side for me. Hold on, I need a moment to process now. That was the replacement Raiden. Holy shit!
Replacement Raiden.
Holy shit!
He is in not the worst Hellraiser Inferno. It's pretty close, but it's not the worst. But he is.
Is that the one that had Christy back in it? Is that one? Yes, I think it is.
I think so.
And then she summons the Cenobites onto her.
Demon thing, yep.
That one wasn't bad. It wasn't the best. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'll give it to him. It's better than Annihilation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good lord. Brother, anything's better than Annihilation.
Even real Annihilation.
Oh my god, where was I? Oh, an episode of The X-Files. An episode of the 2000s, The Twilight Zone. So this guy has been around. A couple episodes of the Battlestar Galactica remake. Ratatouille. He played a cat burglar in an animated Spectacular Spider-Man. He plays Vilgax in Ben 10. For those who do know Ben 10. Ben 10 is a really good cartoon. I really liked that back in the day. And one of the things I want to bring up, he also voices Sideswipe. He's Dexter's dad in the Dexter series, which is first where I got to really know him. But he also voices Sideswipe, not only in the Transformers movies and cartoons, but he voices Sideswipe for the Universal Studios ride Transformers The Ride 3D, which is So I have a renewed reason to go watch Ride That Ride when we go down in August. I'm going to go just so I can make sure I pay attention to Sideswipe.
You just gave him the most publicity he's ever had. I tried to drink at the end to see if you would finish his credits before I could finish drinking, and it was spilling all over me.
He is also, I'm not even done with him. He is also in another movie we have done on the podcast here, The Black Coat's Daughter.
Great movie.
I told Jackie, because she liked Longlegs so much, I think she will watch The Black Coat's Daughter now. So that is a great movie. Yes. A couple episodes of Gotham, an episode of American Dad, for what that's worth. He does some voice acting for the Destiny games. He is in an episode. We need We
I think you need to start another
um,
podcast for for this
Three more.
guy.
James Nemar. This is the James Nemar podcast. We need another bit for playing me off when I ramble too long. Like, wrap it up. So
I need to find.
all right. So I'm done. I'm done.
If
I'll
anybody
give up
has
there.
a good ammunition for a hook, I shouldn't have drank what I drank like that. I'm dying. Let's rate this. Jeff, since this was your movie, you will go last.
All right.
I'll go first. Okay,
Good,
Dave.
'cause I'm
I'll
gonna
go
take a
first.
shot.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know right now.
Go. I'm listening.
I was gonna watch you take a shot. There we have it. Anyways, I had a solo shot of you.
I
you
hope
were
that was totally anticlimactic.
I mean, it's all right. Okay, so overall, I like it. I don't. I mean, there's a couple little nitpicks that I have. The cinematography could have been so much more than it was. Daniel Radcliffe is good. I like him. He should be Wolverine, not some geriatric 80-year-old Hugh Jackman. Come after me. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. If Superman didn't wear a cape and blue tights for 25 years and still got credit for being Superman, I don't think so. I don't think so. But some parts of the story.
Chris has been drinking a little much when he goes in the Superman tangents. So I'll sit back and enjoy it.
The some of the twisty kind of parts in this I don't love. Maybe I believe they're probably better in the book, Jeff. So I'm gonna have to read the book. Jeff's making me read. This is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Readings for nerds.
But it's like the brother is the killer, but it's like so soon you're like, there's no way. No, it could have been done a little different, I think, with some of that kind of business. But I kind of wish there was a little bit more brotherly kind of stuff before it gets into like he killed her. So it means more. Like, I mean, when he's making his brother OD, I wasn't that worried about it, really. Like, it's if he dies, he dies. But because they just didn't have any kind of thing together before that. I mean, it's like, I'm your brother, and then he starts to kill him. It felt like. But there's cool makeup in it. The CGI is okay, but some of the close-ups I don't love. Which leads back to the shot I told you about earlier. Call me Aya, and we can work some shit out. I'll be your cinematographer. I can't spell that word without spell check, but I think I can do it. The job, not spelling it. But also, I had a Jeff Bezos joke I was going to use to tell you about my Odd Thomas pairing, and then Amazon like read my mind. Get out of my head, Jeff Bezos! But I can't do that now because we all already did that. So that leaves me.
Sorry for it.
Jeff may hate me after this because I feel like I'm going a little bit. Chris rates low though. Chris rates low. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows this. I rate the lowest, except last week when Jeff did. 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, while you start your review, I'm gonna solo Jeff.
Okay. That's an interesting choice for our lead cinematographer.
Yeah, that's how I work.
Okay. Interesting. Get the reaction. Get close on it. I agree with most of what you say. It's a lot of the relationships, even the Marin and Ig relationship, they just feel unearned, and I think part of that is just the media of a movie with a time constraint. Although I think this thing had a runtime of close to 2 hours, so it seemed like if it didn't, it seemed like it was two
I'll
hours.
investigate.
It takes a long time to really for the horns and the shenanigans with the horns to really start.
2 hours, 3 minutes.
Yeah, so I was damn, I'm good. But then even in 2 hours, the relationships feel unearned, and I feel like with 2 hours you could have. I agree, played those a little bit more. And I disagree with you about the CGI. I think it sucked. I think it would have been better. You don't have to have him go full demon, just the burnt face. And I mean, we just the Trick or Treat episode just hit the YouTube this week, and we talked about how cool that was with the half burnt face. I'm there. I was there for that. I didn't need him to go full
Blowing
worse.
the bits.
I didn't need to. Yeah, I didn't need him to be worse effects than the lava fighter from the Primal Fear video fucking game from 1992. So I didn't need that. I could have done without that. But when the police officer gets blapped in the face with the shotgun, and that was a little cold, although it felt unearned that he was there in the first place. I get it that the brother went and got him and told him what happened and brought him there, but he's being a total fucking dickhead, and Ig just manipulated him into sucking cop dick in the fucking cop car. So it just feels unearned that he shows up to be the hero anyway. To get blapped in the face after that was unnecessary. Didn't like that. Didn't need that.
Well, he had his gay awakening because of Ig, so then he goes to save him. It made kind of dumb sense in my brain.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was happier. I mean, maybe he was happier living out of the closet.
That's kind of literally where my brain went with that, but having him be just showing up, we need the book. We need the book difference.
Yeah, and that could make all the difference. That could make all the difference. I've always said, and for Daddy King, aka Stephen King, I always felt like with his movies there is that element that there's a reason why Stephen King movies really live up to the books, and it's the difficulty of putting 550 pages in an hour and a half movie. And I think that this movie suffers from that, where the Joe King relationships,
Joe Hill, don't use his government
better
name.
than what's the Joe Hill. Sorry, I don't want a dead name. The Joe Hill. I feel like the book, the relationships, and the depth and the nuance has to be better in the book. I really feel like it's not translating to the movie very well. Overall, I don't think the movie is bad. I just, same as when I watched it when it first came out, I think it's just kind of forgettable. I kind of think Thomas did it better because there is more action and humor, and I think Anton Yelchin did a better job than Dan Radcliffe with a very similar character. Overall, and remember, Dave rates high. I'm going to give this a 6. It's on you, Jeff. You know what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do.
Yeah.
He clicks disconnect on
Don't be
Discord and just
manipulated.
leaves. Jeff left the call. He texts me, "Fuck you guys."
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Go ahead and tell us, Jeff.
All right. So I mean, yeah, definitely, it's the hardest thing, like Dave said, trying to get the book and make it into the movie, which I feel it's almost like you got to Stanley Kubrick it. You know, you got to make your own thing, take elements from the book, and then kind of make your own thing. That way, it's there. It's something, but it's different. So you're not going, well, that didn't happen. This didn't happen. That didn't happen that way. Like, okay, it's just a whole new experience.
Sure.
So at least do it that way. So it's like, okay, this movie is different from the book. You know, so there's a lot of stuff that I wish they could have shown. In the book, he has a grandma, and you know, she, like everybody else, tells him, you know, what she thinks of him and stuff, and he pushes her down the hill, and she slams into a fence, so she ends up in a hospital. Not
Okay,
his
it is a
brother.
little darker. It definitely is a little bit darker.
I'm intrigued by the book.
He goes to the church to talk to Father Mold, but Father Mold's more like a bodybuilder person, and he's in the basement with one of the nuns, and he says like, oh, like that he's screwing that Marin's mom, and and he's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
oh, if you want to hang yourself, Ig, there's rope in the shed. And the nun's like, well, if you're not going to use it, I'll use it. I mean, it's a lot darker.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, yeah, in the movie, her mom has cancer and dies, but in the book, it was her sister that had cancer and dies.
Did
So
she have
there's-
cancer in the book? Like,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It still ends pretty much the same way. She finds out she has cancer. She tries to tell Ig to go off and screw other girls and everything like that. He is not a DJ. Forget what he's doing. He's about to go over to England and stuff. He's working for another
Magician?
company.
wizard?
So there's just stuff in it that's like, I wish they would have shown this more, like more of the snake.
Rugged outdoorsy type?
Yeah. More of the snakes stuff in there, because there's a lot more stuff, especially towards the end. He uses the snakes a lot more in the book. But there was something else I was thinking of. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, it's just the hardest thing to, you know, get what you want out of the book into the movie. So it's just
Right.
it wasn't bad. I mean, the tree house was only in the book twice. It wasn't a place they could go to. It just appeared one day and then disappeared, and they could never find it. And then at the end, it shows back up.
Mystical. Maybe the treehouse represents heaven or some kind of other plane.
So like when they're in the tree house, there's like candles, and there's like some weird like demon kind of scripture and stuff like that. So a lot of different stuff that just would have been like more interesting, but and Lee's character is definitely so much darker in the book than he is in the movie. But
Sounds like he was a scoundrel from the start in the book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, his character gets a whole lot worse, and yeah, just stuff that Roosevelt later on in the book and stuff. It's just like, wow, he was a horrible person. But I mean, I pretty much rate the same way as you guys do, as 6.
We did it!
I mean,
We did it!
We did.
That was mine pick from the beginning. It's a good movie.
Sure.
We got 666 finally.
666. The horns. We did it. I kind of forgot to mention. Did you notice what kind of car Ig drives in the movie?
A Gremlin? Barracuda? What was it?
An AMC Gremlin. He drives an AMC Gremlin. Yes. I don't know why it hit me. Why Jeff was talking. He drives an AMC Gremlin. Very cool. That's very cool. And also, side note, if I had even this much demon powers, devil powers, I'd be ashamed to get my ass kicked on the side of the pier and shoved in a car and set on fire and driven into the fucking wharf. Like, I got some demon powers, and Three Fingers kicked my ass that bad. I'd be pretty ashamed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to show my face in hell, I tell you that. So.
Well, there you have it. There's horns.
Right.
As a bonus thing, we'll get to Blackie Lawless here in a second. But first, I wanted, because why else would I download a bunch of horned animal pictures, if not to sit here and let's decide definitively. Dave, you can't see, so me and Jeff will just have to decide for you, I guess. Which horns should have been in the movie on Daniel Radcliffe instead of the ones he had. Let me slow these way down.
Oh.
Okay. So there's this goat. Kind of crooked. I don't really know that that's... Also, it looks like it has 3 horns. Okay, here's
Yeah, it looks like it has 3.
Here's a big deer that has several points. I don't know if several points would have been the thing, anyway. Now, these are big horns, like big, thick horns. Or a little slit, long and skinny and curvy. I don't know. And then these are even smaller than the ones he had, I think. On this fucking creature. I don't know what this is. I think this is... and then, actually, these kind of look like what he had.
Yeah.
And... Come on. And finally... Starbucks. The goat of Starbucks. Any horns stick out to you that you think would have done better?
The deer. That would have been cool. Just
Several
a giant antler. Yeah.
Several points. I kind of like the thick ones. I don't know what those creatures were either. I don't know any creatures. I know what a dog is, kind of. But, Dave is going to have better internet, soon. Tim. Talks have begun. So,
there's going to be a reckoning. It's the biggest thing that's ever happened to the internet.
You'll be able to play online games. You may be able to watch YouTube again. How cool would that be?
Al Gore invented it, and I perfected it.
Oh. Where's my shit? Fellas, keep talking. Keep talking bullshit for a second.
So if you made it this far, good on you. We're very happy. Thank you very much. Follow us on the socials. Like and subscribe and hit the and do all the things. It really helps the show. It don't cost anything. We're not out here begging for tax-free contributions like the goddamn church.
Sing Arms of an Angel. Sing Arms of an Angel.
Yeah. In the arms
for pennies a day. You could give us pennies a day. Even less than that. And we can use that to buy things. We can spend money on things. Send us your money.
I said I was going to print out these lyrics, so I have them ready per chance. Okay.
Theme.
If you are also a watcher, or if you're watching after the fact and you're interested in what we do next up is the house that Jack built. It is available on a lot of sub sites. So if you subscribe to AMC Plus, it is on AMC Plus. It is on Mubi. It is on IFC Films. It is on Apple Plus. It is on Apple TV, Amazon, Fandango, etc. But if you're watching it, want to watch it free, it is free on Canopy. I think to get Canopy, you do have to have like a library card, I think, to get Canopy for free. And then it's also on the Roku channel free with ads.
I think Canopy was the sequel to that P movie I was telling you about. Anyways,
it was about Babe Ruth, right? Yeah, I remember you say something about P Babe. So
the Spanish Fly people are going to come kill me if I keep using their music. Fair use.
So, have you guys watched? Just don't tell me anything about it. Have you guys watched The House That Jack Built yet?
Yes, I watched it a year or two ago, maybe 3.
Okay. I have not watched it yet. I almost watched it this week. I said no, I'm going to wait because I want to give Horns my full attention. So I watched it. I actually watched it twice this week, Jeff. So I purposely did not watch House That Jack Built. I will be watching it, but Baskin guy gave it 2 thumbs up. So
I can see that.
He said
I see
weird. He said it's weird, and I like weird, which I'm there for it. That's the same thing I said about Longlegs. It's weird, and I like weird. So really good chance that while we're road tripping to Pennsylvania or hanging around Pennsylvania, in addition to Cheap Trick, Def Leppard, and Journey, really good chance that Jackie and I might stop to watch Maxine. I don't know. I don't know if Jackie wants to watch it, or
has she watched the other ones?
I don't think so, and I've told her like they're available. I don't know that I want to watch that with my teenage daughter, but she's 18. Like it's okay to watch it.
I wouldn't want to watch any of that with my parents, but you're more free thinking than mine were. So
yeah, I mean,
but still, I wouldn't want to. Speaking of that, kind of,
I would watch it with your mom.
Let's
mom does not want to watch these movies.
Here is Blackie Lawless's codpiece that shot sparks. It really don't seem that drastic of an explosion that could have happened. His PP real small on the codpiece, but there it is. It actually isn't the codpiece itself. It's some kind of little attachment. Hold on. Let's enhance. Okay. One more level of enhancement.
Interns, get on this.
One sec. Okay. Disregard. Okay, there we go. They can still see us. Too much red. But really, I mean, if that blew up on you, like, you'd still be able to play bass fine. Because I think he was playing bass then. Or is that a guitar? That's a guitar. Never mind. He's playing guitar. Anyways, how do you guys feel about this, now that you've seen it?
What
would you rate the codpiece?
It's a jeweled codpiece. Yeah, I'd rate that
Bedazzled.
I rate that a 7. It's more bedazzled than bejeweled. So
you would rate that higher than Horns, the movie?
I'm going to downgrade it because Jeff is right. It is more bedazzled than bejeweled. I would rather wear a wrestling belt than a bejeweled codpiece. So, I don't know how to give it a number because I've never rated a codpiece before. But I can put it in a hierarchy. Let's see. The hierarchy goes championship belt, fanny pack, bedazzled codpiece.
You may be right. Maybe right.
But a good fanny pack. Like a
Good storage.
not good fanny pack is like probably on the same level as a bedazzled. Because there's no storage in that codpiece. Like you can't put one of those battery packs to extend the life of your cell phone in that codpiece.
I don't know how sparks work. But if you just held your cell phone into the sparks.
That sounds like the next ICP song. It's this follow-up to batteries. How do they work?
Piss sparks onto my cell
I
phone.
don't know how sparks work. Fire is magic. I don't know how sparks work.
Yeah. Aren't sparks electricity? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Jeff, do you know?
No.
Nobody knows.
Okay, experiment time. Chris, get your science pen, put it in your ear, and see if then you know how sparks work. And you don't have to explain it to us. It's simple yes or no will suffice. Chris don't even have his science pen. No wonder he doesn't know how sparks work. He's without.
I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at.
All right. That's okay. The bit has gone too long without payoff.
I literally don't have it. I'll have to find it for next week. This is bullshit. Somebody's stolen.
Sorry. Had to be done.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
We'll have science pens next week. And we'll have
science
pin. And we'll have more discussions on science things like sparks. Are they electricity? Who's to say? Us next week, so you have to tune in. Watch the house Jack built. Jeff, final words. Dave, final words.
What's for dinner?
Did you say pee?
Queef is what's for dinner. You said queef.
Oh, beef.
What's for dinner. Oh, I thought you said queef. Queef is what's for dinner.
We both heard different things.
Maybe stay tuned. Maybe next week we have another codpiece to rate. You guys can rate codpieces in the comments if that's what you're into. Chef, don't judge.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5.6 is what I would give it. Jeff, how would you? A 3. Yeah, you may be right. I'm gonna downgrade 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. Jeff convinced me to drop 1.5.
Step above a jock strap. They just bejeweled it.
You could bejewel a sock and get pretty close to that. All right, we're out. Goodbye, everybody. Blackie Lawless antlers, codpiece antlers. Wait, that's codpiece antlers, like that. This is when I was like drinking a whole bunch and you was talking about that guy. Remember when that happened?